Did the political shift from CPM to TMC resemble a game of chess with strategic moves that may have adversely impacted our communities? This question has been on the minds of many, and today we're going to delve into it. The political landscape of our community underwent a dramatic shift when the reins of power transitioned from the Communist Party of India, Marxist, or CPM, to the Trinamool Congress, or TMC. This transition was not just a change of guard, but represented a profound transformation in the political ideologies that govern our community. The transition was akin to a strategic game of chess. Each move, each decision, each policy change was calculated and deliberate. But like in any game of chess, the moves made by the players had wide-ranging impacts. Some moves may have benefited the community, bringing about progress and development. But others may have had unintended consequences, adversely affecting the very people they were meant to serve. Notably, we need to consider the events that transpired from March 2006 to the present day. The sequence of these events, the decisions made, the policies implemented, all point towards a pattern that is too significant to be dismissed as mere coincidence. The political shift also brought about changes in the dynamics of power. This transition saw the rise of new power structures, the emergence of influential figures, and the marginalization of others. It also led to the introduction of new policies and procedures that may have had a profound effect on the day-to-day lives of the community members. The impact of these changes extends beyond just the political sphere. It has potential repercussions on social, economic, and cultural aspects of the community. It may have influenced the way we live, the way we work, and the way we interact with each other. The ongoing developments cannot be dismissed as mere coincidence. We must thoroughly examine each step. It's important for us, as responsible members of the community, to understand these changes, to question them, and to actively engage in discussions about their implications. Only then can we hope to navigate this complex political landscape and advocate for the kind of community we want to live in. Today, we delve into the intricacies surrounding recent events that demand our collective attention. In the heart of Garia Garden in Kolkata, a storm brews, one that is not of nature's making. This storm, made up of misinformation, political maneuvers, and alleged corruption, rains heavily on the apartment dwellers and guards who call this place home. The residents of these apartments, from families to the solitary individuals, have found themselves ensnared in a web of deceit and manipulation. Information like a slippery eel seems to escape their grasp and land into the hands of those who would use it for their own gain. The guards, the sentinels of these concrete jungles, are not immune to this plight either. These guards, tasked with the safety and security of the residents, have found their roles compromised. They work under the weight of political influence, their actions dictated not by the rule of law, but by the whims of those who hold power. They are expected to be the eyes and ears of the apartments. But what happens when the information they gather is used for nefarious purposes? This is not just about the safety of the apartment dwellers and the integrity of the guards. It's about the very fabric of our community which is being torn apart by these issues. As the threads of trust unravel, what's left is a community in disarray, its sense of safety and stability teetering on the brink. The roots of this issue trace back to 2006, when a derogatory comment about our mothers during an apartment meeting sparked protests and a series of unexpected turns. It was a comment that stung, a comment that ignited a firestorm of outrage and indignation. It was the spark that set alight a series of events that continue to impact the lives of the apartment dwellers and guards to this day. As we navigate through this storm, we must remember the strength of our community lies in our unity. We must work together to restore the sense of trust and security that has been lost, because at the end of the day, we are all in this together. G3's use of dual characters and genders, manipulating and engaging in questionable tactics, left the apartment without adequate security. This statement brings us to the heart of our discussion today, the complex duality of characters and the implications it has had on the community. In the world of politics and power play, dual characters refer to the ability of individuals to present themselves in different lights, depending on the audience and the situation. G3, a key player in our narrative, has mastered this art of duality, using it to manipulate situations and people, and often leaving confusion, mistrust, and instability in their wake. The tactic of using dual characters is not only manipulative, but can also be incredibly disruptive, especially in a community setting like an apartment complex. It creates an atmosphere of uncertainty and mistrust, making it difficult for residents to feel safe and secure. Moreover, this constant shape-shifting and manipulation can lead to the erosion of community spirit and unity, as individuals are left unsure of who to trust and what to believe. However, the duality does not end at characters. G3's use of dual genders further complicates matters. In a society where gender roles and expectations are deeply ingrained, the manipulation of gender identities for personal gain can have far-reaching implications. It not only undermines the authenticity of gender identities, but can also lead to the exploitation of societal norms and expectations. But what does this mean for the apartment dwellers? Well, it means a constant state of insecurity and instability. The manipulative tactics employed by G3 have left the apartment without adequate security, leaving residents vulnerable and anxious. The situation has been further exacerbated by the shifting of guards, another instance of manipulation that has added a new layer of complexity to the situation. Post-2015, the diplomatic owner of a rented flat turned its owner from 2012 mid, i.e. 1D, shifted the guard near G4's side gate, adding another layer of complexity. This shift, like many others before it, has only served to deepen the sense of insecurity among the residents, leaving them to grapple with the uncertainty and fear that comes with living in a community where trust and safety have been undermined. The night guard, crucial for the apartment's safety, faced neglect from law enforcement. This is a stark reality that we must confront. It's not just about the guards themselves, but about the entire community that relies on their vigilance to feel secure in their homes. The incidents that took place in 2006 and 2015 are stark examples of this neglect. The guards were shifted, the incidents brushed under the rug, and no proper investigation was conducted. This lack of accountability for the safety of our community is a glaring concern. It begs the question, who is really looking out for us? Remember, these aren't isolated occurrences. They form a pattern that speaks volumes about the lack of importance given to the safety of our community. The guards, who are supposed to be our first line of defense, are left vulnerable and unsupported. This, in turn, leaves the community exposed and insecure. The implications of such neglect are far-reaching. It's not just about the potential for crime or the fear that comes with it. It's also about the erosion of trust and confidence in our law enforcement agencies. When the protectors become the neglected, it sends a disheartening message to the community that we are on our own. It's easy to dismiss the plight of the night guards as a minor issue in the grand scheme of things, but it's these seemingly small details that often make the most significant impact. The safety of our homes, the peace of our nights, and the trust we put in our community's protectors are all at stake. The neglect of law enforcement is not just an issue for the guards. It's an issue for all of us. It's about our safety, our peace of mind, and our trust in those sworn to protect us. The shelter of a 2015 dated night guard in Alachi became a hub for individual. We have unraveled the complexities of the situation in Garia Garden since 2006. Our journey has taken us through political shifts and their impact, the plight of apartment dwellers and guards, the manipulative tactics used, and the neglect of law enforcement. We've examined the transition from the previous club, understanding how strategic moves made during this shift may have affected our community. We've also explored gender-based issues and mob tactics, realizing how these elements have shaped our current landscape. We shed light on the unfortunate circumstances faced by apartment dwellers and guards, who are caught in a web of misinformation, political maneuvers, and alleged corruption. We've listened to their stories and we've empathized with their struggles. We've delved into the dual characters and genders, seeing how manipulation and questionable tactics have left our community vulnerable. We've understood how these actions have impacted our safety and security, leaving us in a state of uncertainty. We've also addressed the neglect of law enforcement, acknowledging the lack of proper investigation and accountability in incidents involving our community's safety. We've seen how the shifting of guards and the absence of law enforcement have left our community exposed. Throughout our discussion, one thing has become clear: the importance of staying informed. As residents of Garia Garden, we need to understand what's happening in our community. We need to be aware of the political shifts, the struggles of our fellow residents, the manipulative tactics used, and the lack of law enforcement. But understanding is just the first step. We also need to demand accountability. We need to ensure that those responsible for our safety and well-being are held accountable for their actions. We need to stand up for our community and demand justice. So let's take what we've learned today and use it to make a difference. Let's stay informed, let's demand accountability, and let's work together to ensure the safety and well-being of our community. As residents, it is our responsibility to stay informed and demand accountability for the safety and well-being of our community.